Good evening, everybody. Match 17 of the 1995 Cricket World Cup was played today in Peshawar. It was the Group 1 match between England versus Holland. A win here for England would put them in pole position to reach the World Cup quarter-finals. Holland looking to cause a massive upset, having lost to Australia and Kenya so far. The pitch in Peshawar was slow and quite difficult to bat on, and Holland won the toss and elected to bowl first. Mainly, Stephen Lubbers said he wanted to bowl first because the matches previously in Peshawar, there's always been something in it for the bowlers. Mark Afton said it was good for England to bat first. Was happy to bat first as England had chased in all three previous matches and lost 2 and won 1. And this was the outcome and what turned out to be a pretty decent game of cricket. And as you can see, Holland there. Not a convincing win at all from England. The pitch actually was quite difficult to bat on throughout. It was another case of batsmen getting in and out. No real batsmen really finding their form in this tournament so far, apart from Sachin Tendulkar in particular. England making their highest score of the competition, 279 for 5 from their 50 overs. As you can see, players got in and players got out. Graham Thorpe was magnificent, 89 of 92 deliveries. Graham Hick got his second 50 of the tournament as well, 79 off 98 deliveries, but then he got out to a sloppy shot. A couple of players got out to sloppy shots, 23 for Neil Smith, 5 for Alex Stewart. Graham Hick and Graham Thorpe's scores 79 and 89 with their second 50s of the competition. Atherton demoted himself down to number 5, he only made 10. Nice little partnership towards the end of 51 between Jack Russell and Neil Fairbairn. Neil Fairbairn 31 not out of 26 deliveries, 25 not out of 21 deliveries for Jack Russell. As England made a pretty solid 279 for 5. A decent score, their highest score of this tournament. Not bad start. 0 for 27 for Phil Cantrell. The leader 0 for 10. 151 for Stephen Lubbers. Roland Fairbairn 140. I thought bowled really well. 155 for Fabian Aponzo. 1 for 39 for Floris Janssen, and 1 for 46 for Jan Paul Bakker. In response, Holland were never really in the chase. They kept losing wickets at key moments. I mean, they were 142 for 6. I mean, the most frustrating thing for England is that they didn't bowl the Dutch out. Holland's 230 for 7 is their highest ever total against a Test playing nation. I mean, they all got starts, but they just all got out at crucial times. Just summing up how difficult the pitch was. I don't think, again, it wasn't a pitch really unbelievable for batting on, but so many players are getting in and getting out of really bad shots. It's turning out the last few games have been really bizarre. A duck for Nolan Clark, Phil Cantrell 30, Tim Delader 14, Stephen Lubbers 21. Van Nortwick looked good for 30. Sunderland 52 not out off 106 deliveries, a brilliant innings. 10 for Roland Fairbairn. Shearer hit 49 off 52 deliveries and then got out to a really bad shot, and 12 not out for Fabian Aponzo. Holland's highest ever total against Test playing nation. England will be disappointed, however, that they didn't manage to bowl the Dutch out after having them at 142 for 6. Their last wicket, 2 wickets added nearly 88 runs. So they made 230 for 7. So not a convincing performance from England. Dominic Cork continued his pretty decent tournament. He was quite expensive, but he took 3 for 52. There was 2 for 31 for Phil de Freitas, who continued his very good tournament, and 2 for 41 for Peter Martin, who continued his solid tournament. I think Phil de Freitas has 7 wickets in the tournament, and Phil de Freitas I think has 7 wickets in the tournament, and I think Peter Martin has 6 wickets in the tournament. Remember, they both have taken 4 wicket hauls respectively. Darren Gough has been disappointing in this tournament, 0 for 23. Cork took 3 for 52. 0 for 28 for Graham Thorpe. Graham Hick didn't take a wicket, 0 for 23. And 0 for 28 for Neil Smith. So the final summary of this match in Peshawar, Group 2-1 match in Peshawar, England versus Holland. Holland won the toss, selected to bowl first on a slow pitch. On a slow, normal pitch, I should say. Mainly due to the fact that Peshawar pitch, there's always been a chance to get wickets. It backfired in a way. England made 279 for 5, 50s from Graham Hick and Graham Thorpe. 79 for Graham Hick, I think. 79 for Graham Hick and 89 for Graham Thorpe as England made 279 for 5. Holland never really looked like chasing runs. They lost wickets at key times, but they ended up batting their full 50 overs and scored their highest ever total against the Test Play Nation. 230 for 7 from their 50 overs. 52 from Bad Zenderan for the Dutch, and 3 for 52 for Dominic Cork off 7 overs. England winning by not the most convincing margin, comfortable enough in the end, but England winning by only 49 runs. And unsurprisingly, man of the match was great. Man of the match with brilliant 89 off 92 deliveries, which saw England up basically to a very competitive score. Was Graham Thorpe for his 89 off 92 balls. Not an unbelievable performance from England. England were never really in danger, but that's a pretty unconvincing display from England towards the end, and they will go into that match, their final group match against Pakistan, knowing that they're still yet to really, really hit top form. I mean, they played really well against Kenya, but their bowling was good when it needed to be, but Holland deserve huge credit for batting their full 50 overs, and getting 230 was more than respectable against the Test Play Nation. England third in the table. They should qualify for the quarterfinals now. Holland have got 2 matches. Kenya could still possibly qualify if they were to cause an upset against Pakistan or Australia. But England are in a very good position to qualify for World Cup quarterfinals now. Tomorrow's match, India versus the West Indies. West Indies in absolute desperate situation. I don't think they need to win tomorrow, obviously, West Indies, but they need a good performance, because their performances against the Sri Lankans and obviously that humiliating defeat against the United Arab Emirates, they have been appalled in this tournament. They lose tomorrow, they are on the brink of the most humiliating exit that any team could ever wish to think. Victory for India tomorrow will make them the 4th country to qualify for the World Cup quarterfinals. Let us have a look at the star players. They both had decent games again. Dominic Cork has continued his solid form. England's bowler attack has been very good throughout this tournament. I mean, I know they didn't bowl the Dutch out today, but their bowling attack their fast bowling attack has looked pretty good. I mean, Phil de Freitas 7 wickets in the tournament. Peter Martin 6 wickets in the tournament. They've both taken 4 wicket hauls, and I think Cork's not too sure. Cork may well be the leading wicket taker in the tournament at this moment in time. So let's have a look at the bowling figures and the tracking. Graham Hick averaging 5th. His average has gone up to 35 of a ball, 2 wickets in 2 matches. 178 runs in 3 innings and average 59. He's had a pretty solid tournament so far. 2 50s. He'd be disappointed that he got out when he did. You felt like he was dropped only 4 balls earlier, and then he got out to a really bad shot. There was some really, really bizarre shots from both teams today. And as for Dominic Cork, 7 wickets in 4 matches and average 23. He's had a very, very good start to the tournament and averaging 24 with a bat. However, he didn't bat today. He's in for his bowling. He's the joint leading wicket taker with Phil de Freitas, I think, with 7 wickets apiece, and what has been a pretty disappointing tournament for the bowlers. As you can see, no one really getting any wickets. Joint leading wicket taker with Phil de Freitas for 7 wickets apiece. So what a tournament he's having, Dominic Cork. He's looked probably the most consistent bowler in this tournament, along with Phil de Freitas. That was comfortable enough from England. England never looked like they were going to ever lose that match after having scored 279. But, bizarre game of batsmen just getting out after getting settled. I mean, there's been some really poor strokes in the last few matches in this World Cup, and it is very, very bizarre, and it must be incredibly frustrating for the batsmen in general. I mean, but England have got their win. A win's a win, but you know, having looked quite comfortable, for them to concede 230 against Holland is incredibly disappointing. And they'll go into that match against Pakistan not in the greatest of form now. I think they're still yet to click in this World Cup. They played really well against Kenya, and they've done enough to beat the Dutch, but England still look quite... I think they've fielded and bowled pretty solidly, and like I said, they never looked like... But the worrying thing is that they didn't bowl Holland out, and Holland, the last 15 overs, they scored about 80 runs. So, yeah, they played with a bit more freedom, knowing that they couldn't really win the match. And in a tight situation, England could end up finding themselves in trouble. Tomorrow's match, India versus the West Indies. West Indies in desperate need of not just a win, but a good performance tomorrow. They need to turn up against India tomorrow. Otherwise, their World Cup is definitely going to be over pretty soon, especially with matches against Zimbabwe and New Zealand to come. So until tomorrow's match between India and West Indies, this is me, Lawrence Howard, reporting on the 1985 Cricket World Cup being played here in Pakistan, the Brian Lover Cricket PlayStation. England got their second win. They've beaten the Dutch by 49 runs. Not a convincing win, but England are on course for World Cup quarter-final place yet again. Until tomorrow's match, it's bye-bye from me.